Straight out of Compton, original streets. Grew up with the lion, see what the criminals see. Now he a giant and a pivotal key. Got it down to a science, this the visual streets. He came up with bullet, he came up with turtle. Live life to the fullest, he put it all in the journal. We dodging them bullets, we jumping them hurdles. It's the hood postman, we in the streets universal.
Hood postman, Professor Belly Mail. This is not a glorification or a glamorization. This is an education. You can go anywhere in the world and get a couple of lies, but you come right here to get the truth. Be sure to click the notification bell, like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment down below. So when the dope content hit, it'll feel like it's the first and 15th. Lock the door. Professor Belly Mail, the Hood Postman. Who am I here with today?
Man, you here with OG Brydog, man, a.k.a. Brydog, a.k.a. Bones Loke, a.k.a. Kizzy Lane gave me the name from Denver Lane, Crip and Bones. You know, you're with a variety of individuals, man, but a Hub City boy for sure.
Got it. And where did you grow up at?
Actually, man, you know, I grew up at 210 South Poinsettia. I grew up at 832 Tishner Street in Richland Farms, and of course on 122346, which is North Wilmington Avenue, right on the corner house, man.
And what schools did you attend?
All right, middle school, I went to Willowbrook because I got bused when I was younger to outside schools, but Willowbrook, Centennial for 63 days, Compton High, and Clyde McDonald.
Why only 63 days?
Well, unfortunately, a guy was shot in the head by Carver Park at Centennial Pyru. Used to be 50-50, half Crips, half Pyrus, what have not. And they kicked all of us out as a result of that and gave us what's called an opportunity transfer.
Got it. So let me get right to it, Brydog. Let's get to the content. Have you ever been for any other hood other than the hood that you always tell me about?
No, I've been out of Richland Farms, Carver Park, back and forth, but not as far as sets.
Okay, what set have you been associated with? You know, if there's one or two, I don't know. But
I got mad love for the Raymonds. I ain't never been from Raymond. But if I would have been from Carver Park, I would have been from Raymond Avenue. You know, because my mother lived in Inglewood the entirety of me growing up with my father and my grandparents in Compton.
So that's a hard yes that you've only been from Carver Park.
There it is there.
That's just wrong. Okay, so I always look at the information that come across the internet and look at different things and scenarios and different things. But what I would like to know, what impact do you think online misinformation, fake news have on public perception when it comes to Damo and Keyway?
I think online has destroyed the streets because you can be sitting up in Tupelo, Mississippi, and lived in LA the majority of your life and retired to Mississippi in your 30s or 20s and say anything about anybody from a basement.
Would it be fair to say we're living in an anxious generation?
Yeah, instant gratification and anxious, yeah.
Without
research.
What is your religious background?
I come from Islamic household, man.
So you never been associated with Christianity, no. Catholicism?
My father's from the Nation, the First Resurrection, as they called it, and I grew up in the Nation.
Okay, let's get back to, I want to get focused on being in the feds because as of recently, Crip Mac has been sentenced to the feds, but I want to focus on because you have an enormous wealth of information when it comes to the feds. My first question to you, if you're on a USPR, can you be on that USPR without having your PSI, which is a pre-sentencing report, right?
Well, when I initially got to the USP, PSIs were still allowed in. They cut them off. Mm-hmm. So we went to sentencing transcripts, plea agreements, and what you would call your judgment, your sentencing judgment.
So I want you to go through each one, explain what does that mean, what you just said.
On the PACER docker sheet, I can't leave that out.
Okay.
A PACER docker sheet, I got that right here for you.
Okay, let me see it.
I can show you what a PACER docker sheet is, man. You know, but initially, because I was a guy that checked paperwork, right? Mm-hmm. Initially, man, as y'all can see, man, it's a gang of paperwork right here. So, wow, what was that? What I was looking for. Initially, when you are locked up, dudes want to see what your indictments say, mm-hmm. because it says all the charges. Now,
can you hold up for the camera?
This is called.
Bring it all the way close in.
I'm gonna bring it close. This is the first superseding indictment. It's me and all of my co-defendants, mm-hmm. And it's the charges that are levied against us. Now, Brian Berkeley, aka Brydog, Damian Ballard, aka Day Day, Reggie Bro, aka Blue, Anthony King, aka Wall, Jason McDowell, aka Psycho Blue, Calvin O'Neill, aka Body.
How many codeine offenders did you have?
I had 6, but this is only 5 right here because one hadn't been told on by other individuals, which I'm not going to go into because that's their life. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, my second superseding indictment has Jason McDowell missing and Baby Bop on here. So y'all can do the math. And it's the charges once again. You know, we had 2113 A&D, which is a bank robbery, 371, which is a conspiracy. We had a 924 use of carrying a firearm. These are the charges levied against all of us.
So when you said it has Jason McDowell, there's not on this indictment. But
that's when he signed a 5K1.
Baby Bop is there. So is that like he switched places or?
What he did was he decided to cooperate with the government. Uh-huh. And Baby Boppy got away. And he told on Baby Bop, who was in the county jail on another case.
Oh, got it.
2 years later.
Got it.
All right. This indictment right here is a third superseding indictment when not everybody, excuse that, but when a couple of guys decided to tell on me, it was just me against the United States now.
So you say when a couple of guys decided to tell on you,
yeah.
So now they're witnesses for the government against you in case you want to go to trial.
And that's where the PACER docket sheet comes in, because on your PACER docket sheet, it has your sentencing Miranda. It says what you were sentenced for. And anybody out there, and I often tell y'all, download Westlaw, Find Law, Freedom of Information Act, and get the PACER docket sheet. Because on the PACER docket sheet, which is this, it's going to say everything individual's been to court for. It's going to say how your sentencing Miranda is. See, mine's I highlighted because I read paperwork and certain things with individuals. And we can jump to immediately when the government requests something to be filed under seal, that means you work for the government. That means you cooperated with the government. The first person sentenced in the feds is the one that got told on. I was the first one sentenced on my case, okay? But I'm just jumping through here for y'all, but it's highlighted areas where they actually ask for individual stuff to be filed under seal. That person signed a 5K1. A 5K1 means you agree with the government to snitch. Here's another individual. Now, me filed under seal was only my letters, which I have from community activists who didn't want to be exposed for things like that. But other than that, that's the only thing filed up under seal. And it wasn't the government requesting. It was my attorney. So once again, when you see government requests filed up under seal, minutes of sentencing, that tells you about a person and if they're available. If they're not available, run away from that person. In the USP, they'll get rid of that person.
When you went to the USP, now that you're in the USP, how much time did you receive based on the alleged crime that you committed?
I eventually got it knocked down to 20 years. First, I had 20 on count 1, 20 on count 2, and 7 on count 3.
And these was all bank robberies?
It was bank robbery and check cashing robbery. That's what the third superseding indictment was. 2 years later in my case, someone told about a check cashing robbery I did when I came home. And that was my third superseding indictment, where it says the United States versus me.
And how many USPs did you hit during your 20 years?
A USP Terre Haute when it was a regular joint, because now it's a dropout joint. If anybody tell you they're in Terre Haute USP right now, run away from them. And USP Victorville. Then I've been to Bloody Beaumont, but I wasn't at the USP, but people have it misconstrued. The FCI was Bloody Beaumont, not the USP.
Okay.
I've been to Leavenworth. I've been to Talladega, which I heard and got up out of there. I butchered my celly for being a snitch and to get up out of there. And I've been to Pollock, and I went back to Bloody Beaumont from Leavenworth.
Okay, so being that you was at Bloody Beaumont and you was at Talladega and you also was at Terre Haute and you was at Victorville USP, Could anyone walk into those yards and not have the paperwork you just showed me and be amongst his peers?
You have 45 days because they took the PSIs out.
Mm-hmm.
You have 45 days to get your sentencing transcripts. Your sentencing transcripts tell everything. If you cooperated, they tell it. Like on the first page of my sentencing transcripts, this is your driver's license. This is your driver's license.
When you say driver license, what does that mean?
That means this is what allows you to live. Okay. And the first thing it says here is we come for 11C, it's highlighted. 11C1CA hearing, which is down there. That is a binding plea between you and the government without implicating anyone. And then when you go further into my sentencing transcripts, see, I was a beast. I wanted to make sure they knew who was who when it came to me on my case. So I just put like this in there in my sentencing transcripts. So when the guy I presented, which I presented my paperwork, the T-Dog, OG T-Dog from 6 Deuce East Coast initially, right?
Mm-hmm.
It said, read my paperwork. But the highlighted area, I know it verbatim. It's mind-boggling me to how the government cooperating witnesses receive sentences of never mind. The reason I said that, you don't see any objection from the district attorney. So if they weren't the government cooperating witnesses, it would have been an objection. These were the guys that told on me, right here in black and white.
Mm.
And they're in my.
How many people
Pace of
altogether told them?
There were 2 that actually signed 5K1s.
And again, explain what a 5K1 is.
5K1 is agreement to cooperate with the government against your co-defendants.
Do you believe that online discussions about paperwork or who's a rat or who's a snitch is valid enough for just random individuals discuss? I'm talking about people who don't know how to read those citizen transcripts, the dockets, and the paperwork, or they don't have access to that. Should these discussions be carried out over the internet?
If you don't have this black and white to back up your allegations, see, you and I are from a generation that's dinosaurs now. When you put a jacket on an individual, a fallacy, the streets green lighted whatever happened to you who couldn't back it up. When you put a jacket on someone in prison, the streets green light to you to do what you want to do legally in the street code. So online now, I can say Joe Jack is a snitch from JoJo's hood. And everyone will believe it because I'm a reputable guy. But when you have guys that have large audiences who don't know anything about paperwork or the streets, they take words as gospel.
Brydog, what way can technology and the internet be leveraged to improve the transparency and accountability amongst Keyway and Dahoodpostman? If it can be used.
If it can be used, people that follow the internet, follow certain people, need to question the other guys who always are assaulting guys who have a reputation. The authenticity, like, who are you and what have you contributed, unfortunately, to our former lifestyle to authenticate you to talk about this person?
Mm.
See, I'm a reputable. I'm known everywhere. You know for sure. I go anywhere I want to go, when I want to go, how I want to go in any hood. But these guys on the internet, do you see them doing the same? With the exception of you, Gangster, Bam. We'll give a shout out to a couple of our guys, Life Coach,
Gangbangers Life Coach.
Come on, I was about to hit a little crazy.
16 to Life.
16 to Life. We go everywhere. If I left any hood, ODM Slim, we go where we want to go. Because we're authentically from the streets. We just made the transition to being street journalists.
What role does social media platforms play in shaping public opinion or virgin minds and getting them? Because we got a lot of people out there don't scratch the surface. They don't do statements of facts. They don't look at statistics. They don't read nothing. They just go by word of mouth. Is that enough to discuss or ruin somebody's reputation?
Unfortunately, in the day and age we live in, it can tarnish a person's reputation. When you see, what I don't understand about today, internet generation, is how you get dudes from the same section to tear dudes down. You ain't never seen nobody from Carver Park tear nobody down.
What I like to say to that, Brydog, is you can't destroy a street dude's reputation on the internet or social media. You got to do that manually, where it was built at, on the streets, in the penitentiary, where it was made. That's why I went from truth seeker to truth speaker, and that's why we're doing this interview now, because somebody has to be grown enough to come and decipher this stuff, because this is a cipher. I like to look at it as a cipher, because if I don't be the cipher and I don't be the one to come to the table and say, hey, let's sit down and break all this stuff apart and go through it sheet by sheet, paper by paper. And you got pictures there as well.
I do. But I want to say this.
Okay.
When you say a cipher's full circle.
Yes.
What does this shirt say, Mel? You read it.
It says back to the city, Compton, and then there's a shark in the middle.
That means you returning to a city as a person from Compton, California, Hub City boy, as a returning homie, yet a community activist in the same token. But we from a city where, man, you gonna sink or swim. If you foul, you can't come back to Compton. That's all I got to say on that. That's why I love this shirt. Because there's sharks in the water in the hub. We don't do no forgive and forget.
Don't run from it, run to it.
I'm just trying to tell you. So, yes, I have pictures. Matter of fact, you know what? I want to share this with you. Now, excuse me, y'all. Here, edited. You know how I used to gauge a lot of dudes in prison? Let me see your photo album.
And what did that tell you?
That photo album tells me, first off, the caliber of men that you with across the prisons you've been in, as well as the type of individual you claim you may have been or whatever, because it's his story. You can make it up, but your photo album is a testament to your homies. Now, like with me,
I'm one of the individuals who say, if you can't show me a picture with at least 5, 10, 15, 20 of your homeboys, then I don't believe you from that neighborhood.
Exactly. Now, see, like, look, these are all Comptons in USPs and FCI highs, because you have two different types of FCIs. Okay, and what I mean
Raise the bottom up.
What I mean by this is USP victim, and then you have dates on the back of when these pictures were taken. Okay, so that's prison pictures. Unfortunately, these are prison pictures of me and the homies, but from different hoods.
And that's the Crip car.
It's Crip car. These are the Crip cars. Okay. And the out of town Crip cars, every last one I went to, I pushed the line. Okay. So when
you say push the line, what does that mean?
Meaning you didn't bip bop, bloop, 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 and molest. It came past me. You had 45 days to get your paperwork. I gave you 60. 45 working days is 60 days. See, and then when we said about as homies, if you can't produce pictures of your homeboys and homegirls and dudes from different hoods, from the nutty blocks that I have on this picture to the Acacia blocks that send me pictures over the years that I've been gone. And then my homies, this picture right here in the middle is OG Sleep, Big Val, Larry Loke. These are G homies, Wormy from my set. They send me
in a wheelchair.
That's Popeye, rest in peace. And that's his funeral. That's Baby Bop right there. So these are just, I'm just showing you that just, if you don't have pictures of your set and you incarcerated, when I look in your photo album and your homies, your loved ones don't send things to you, and these are just a variety of pictures of all Carver Parks. These are all Carver Parks during my duration. This the homegirl from Raymond Avenue, things like that. So I'm just throwing that to the side. But what I'm simply saying is that sometimes I'm looking to do his photo album to see what kind of love, because see, a lot of dudes is an indicator to me if a dude's trying to slip through the cracks. His homies are not sending him pictures if he got down on his homies or if he was no good.
That's true. With that being said, Professor Manny Mill, Brydog, Bones, lock the door.
Lock the DZ, baby. Two of them, baby.
Cali Miners, baby. Proof of grind all the time. Music money. Got a dollar sign. Hub City. I'm a street nigga, streets fuck with me. I'ma keep pushing products till the feds get me. It's guap off top, diamond Cartier. That nigga Wall won't give a broke bitch the time of day. They see me climbing, they see me shining. That's hard work, proof of grinding. New money got me tipping in that 550. Ali, bad man, and I'm so pretty. I got that tech with me, that's my hater sprayer. Go big, grind now, nigga, play later. What can I say?